Boundaries are really important, you know. It's good to know what's a boundary, yeah. And I have talked about boundaries before, you know. Boundary, it's really good to know where it is, yeah. But then tenderness is here. Boundary is out here. It's not in here. That's we misunderstand. We become, instead of having a boundary, we become hardened inside. You become hard, you become inaccessible to yourself, to everybody else also, right? You understand? That's very different than a boundary. A boundary is knowing your limit and seeing that if someone is just not willing to go past something, there's nothing you can do about that. You can say, that's enough, right? I'm not going any farther in that game. That's where it ends, here, boundary, right? But then tenderness is that remaining in that openness with yourself, with what it brings for you, with what it brings for you with you, what it brings for you with your brother, what it brings for you in that whole situation. Are you willing to remain with that? Yeah. Are you willing to be very, very real with that? Yeah. Because that's how you're truly disengaging from it, you see? This is setting a boundary, but disengaging from these habits, from these patterns from the past, happens not by setting boundaries alone, but it happens because we have the willingness to experience what's really going on. It's like a willingness to die into this and see what it really is, yeah? That's how you really disengage from it.
As opposed to building a shell.
As opposed to you are wrong and I'm right. Or this is wrong and this is right. Or this is wrong and this is right. Or right, protection. I become protected and I don't want to let anything or anybody in, right? Because I'm just protecting. Boundary is something else. Boundary is knowing your limit, having a clarity of saying no, that's not okay, right? It's very simple. It doesn't imply anything to anybody, right? It's not your business. Your business is to be clear. Say that's enough, right? But then what is your business is here. What goes on here? Your tendency, right? What are the tendencies that arise? How you identify with it. How you want to fight and how you want to do it, right? That's your business, yeah. How you engage in that situation, yeah. It's such an early place, you know. It must have started so early for you that it's, you know, it's very young. So do you understand? Do you know the difference?
Now I do.
Yeah. Is anybody else understanding that? Really important piece to understand. Yeah.
Well, it feels like the heart, my heart, either gets wounded or gets protected. And neither take me anywhere.
Right. And it's also usually good, it's good to realize that the woundedness is probably already there. Yeah. That it's just being touched again by someone's behavior, someone's pattern, someone's, you know, insistence on certain things. It's being touched in that place. And you either feel wounded or you want to protect yourself, but you're not letting yourself just go through and just see what's, you know. That would be not engaging, right? And what it does, because it disengages you from the situation, it also gives you an opportunity to face what's going on with you. Because as long as I'm engaged with someone else, I'm not facing what's going on with me. I'm engaged with someone else. There's no space to face anything, what's going on with you. You understand? In that way you're letting that pass through, and that's how you're creating that space, because now that you're not engaged, now you could actually be with what's going on. Yeah?
So that's where possibly an acceptance of, rather than a reaction to.
Right. Because that reactiveness comes from the past.
Yeah.
And I'm sure everybody here has experienced what it does. Once we're in reaction, we just go back and forth reacting. You know, wars start like that. And it takes some, generations to resolve something that silly that started somewhere like this. And then in that reactiveness, it's like Middle East, it just goes deeper and deeper and deeper. Nobody remembers anymore what really happened, right? It's just reaction and reaction and reaction and reaction and reaction and right? And there's no healing in that. So in that willingness to face yourself, that's where you healing, coming out of that different. You have a chance to be different in that situation, in that relationship, in that circumstance. Yeah. Then what would you really face if you didn't do that thing, What would you be then experiencing, right? What would you be facing then? Yeah, quite amazing.